This, don't worry about this. We're all wearing them. It's just to make Danny Mills feel a little bit more comfortable about the new headwear we're making him wear everywhere he goes in an attempt to prevent any future concussions. Hello and welcome to Club 2 Part 7 of Non-Lethal Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we've got away games against Hungerford and Oxford. No, I can't speak without my head. It's making me tilt my head at the wrong angle. We're away against Hungerford. It's ruined me. My head overheated. And Oxford City, both in the Panorama National League South. But before we get into that, we have a youth intake to show you. It's that time of the year. The buttons just aren't working. Right. And as you can see, one of them has already been renamed by one of my patrons on Patreon, who subscribes for more than $20 a month, which allows them to get their name in the game. So this guy, who we're going to be keeping an eye on throughout his career, why are the buttons not working? I just want to see this football player. What is going on? Hold on. I don't understand. One moment. I think I broke my mouse. We now have a different one. We're fine. So, what was I saying? Youth intake day. New youth intake. One of them's already been renamed by one of my very kind patrons who's on Patreon for more than $20 a month. If you want to get your name in the game, that's exactly how you do it. Go to patreon.com/Lollujo. Subscribe to that for more than $20 a month. And eventually, when we work through the list, you will end up getting your name in the game. But Saeed SC1D has his name in the game. We're going to be keeping an eye on him and all the other Patreon name in the game players throughout their careers, whether he stays at Bath or not, whether I stay at Bath or not. We're going to be following SC1D throughout his full career as part of Non-Lethal Legend this year. So he's a centre back who can also play at left back or as a left wing back. 1-star potential ability at the moment with 4.5-star potential. He's an exciting youth prospect, and we've already tied him down to a contract. The other guy who's probably going to end up being renamed as well, I'm just waiting for someone on Patreon to get back to me. He's Andrew Flitcroft, who's going to be a potential option for us on that right-hand side of midfield. Not quite up there with Otim and Henchcliffe at the moment. Well, Henchcliffe can't do that bit at all. There you go, there's Henchcliffe. But he's not a million miles away. I would like to think both of those young prospects should be fighting for a first team place within the next year or two, and we can then keep track of them from there. But let's get back to the action. Since you were last with me, we had a little bit of an iffy run. Failed to win for 4 games in a row, including getting ourselves knocked out of the FA Trophy, which I believe you saw in the last episode. It took a little while to get better from there, but we have now finally started winning games again, and it did coincide with Danny Mills recovering from his latest concussion and making his way back into the team. And we find ourselves one place outside of the playoff positions with 8 games left to go. 2 points outside. It's still very much a possibility that we could end up in the playoffs, but it is going to rely, as we've said all along, on that front two staying fit, and they haven't been. Robles is still not properly fit. He's had an injury, there you go, pulled knee ligaments that he's still only just recovering from. Previously had a twisted knee and a tight hamstring, although that was last year, so we can't really blame him for that one. But Mills has been in and out of the team all year with his variety of head injuries, concussion, gashed head, bruised head, concussion, and then when he was back from the concussion, he ended up twisting his knee as well. So we've not actually had a fit Danny Mills for quite a long time. They're both in the team today, though, albeit not match fit. But fingers crossed, they'll be able to combine and do what they can to see off Hungerford. So our team is going to be Ashmore in goal, a back four of Osborne, Kilgore, Stone and Minahan, with Compton, Clutton, Ovendon and O'Tim in the midfield, and Robles and Mills up front. And just fingers crossed, cross everything that we can get a result, because like I say, they've been a little bit hard to come by recently. But I think this might be the first time in a little while that we've had both Robles and Mills not carrying an injury and in the team. There you go, look up. We've got Saeed on the bench today. We've got SC1D is already on the bench, everybody. I usually let my assistant manager pick the substitutes. I didn't know he was going to do that, but there you go. That's how much of a hot prospect he is. He's already made it onto the bench. I was not prepared for that. We might even get to see him make his debut today, especially if the rest of our defence continues being as useless as apparently we are now, because we're 1-0 down after 17 minutes. I don't know where Hungerford are in the league, but we do need to We need to beat. I say beat teams like this. They could be top of the league. We need to check that in a minute before I finish this sentence. But come on, let's have a look at the league table. Hungerford. Yeah, we need to be able to beat teams like this, and we've really gone off the boil in this second half of the season. And I think a lot of it is because we're operating on such a small squad, because we've got no money, that as soon as the injuries started to hit, and there haven't been many, Ashmore had a bit of a knock, but missed maybe one game. Mills and Robles have had knocks and missed games here and there. Ovenden, Compton, they've all had little knocks and missed games here and there. But they're all fit today, or fit enough to play, maybe not fully match fit. We just don't look like the same team anymore. I don't know if we've maybe been found out, or if the players are just getting a little bit tired, or if during that spell where we were struggling to get everyone into the team and everyone fit, maybe during that period our team morale has dropped a little bit, and we all know how important that is in Football Manager, especially in this new world of dynamics, and they perhaps just don't feel like they're going to win anymore. And because we don't have a real game changer, even stuff like that, we would have scored that 10 games ago. That's a goal. Today it's not a goal, and I think a lot of it is because they don't think that they can do it anymore. And Danny Mills, I mean, there you go. The only guy we can bring on for Danny Mills, Josh Doty, injured, hasn't scored for so very long, but at least bringing him on does give us the opportunity to push Robles up front. Let's have a look at SC1D. Why not? What's the worst that can happen for bringing him on? We're already losing. We'll bring on Henchcliffe as well, because we just don't have any other options. There you go. I wasn't expecting that today. It's our first Patreon appearance of the entire series. He might go on to become an absolute superstar from here. I can't remember the last time we had a youth prospect come through who the actual quick pick assistant manager thing thinks is good enough for the bench immediately. So I have high hopes for the future of this young player, but I wish he was a striker, because I mean we've not done anything here, have we? Although Robles now have a last minute chance to equalise, but he's running away from the goal, going in completely the wrong direction. Henchcliffe is there. Compton does manage to grab an equaliser. We are at a point of the season where equalisers aren't really good enough against teams like Hungerford, but at least we blooming got one, and it stops us going back into a world of defeats. But this isn't form that's going to lead us into the playoffs, so we need to figure something out. Might need to make some changes. We don't really have any attacking options behind Mills and Robles. Doty long term is going to be a midfielder. I don't know. Maybe we need to do something. Perhaps we need to go back to the 4-4-1-1, which we tried at the start of the season. It didn't really work, but at least Doty, who is one of our best players, and we're playing him out of position all year, maybe putting him in his own position for a little while is what he needs to spark to life. But then, who out of Mills and Robles do you drop? It's difficult. Hopefully I'll have figured it out before the next match. No changes for the Oxford City game then, mainly because we don't really have anyone to come in and change the team. Doty is fit again. Henchcliffe isn't going to make a difference. And if we filter out everybody who's not an under-23 or an under-18, who have we actually got who's a game changer? Chris Gallagher had a decent first half of the season, but Clutton is better than him. And I can't really... They're a good central midfield partnership. I don't really want to break them up. Fixter is fine, but he's a left winger. Compton's our best player. We can't bring him in. And Jamie Lucas, I mean, he's just spent all season moaning about not wanting to be here. He's on the transfer list, and when he has played, he wasn't scoring goals. So, regardless of what league we're in next year, we have work to do. But we haven't got any money to do it with. If there's any bigger clubs up there in the Conference National who think I look promising, come get me. You know, I think we've had a better season than we had at Alfreton, but I am worried that we're on the verge, for the first time in the history of non-league to legend, of starting season 3 in the bottom playable leagues. We've never done this before. I know we've had a club change, so you know we're hampered a little bit by that. Danny Mills has just scored an absolute screamer. I want to throw my helmet in the air to celebrate, but it's all the way over there, and I don't want to risk breaking my mouse again. But this is Mr. 6'5" target man who thinks he was a poacher. He's not supposed to be able to do this. I'm so excited. It's making me cough. I need to have a little taste of my Pepsi Max. I wish it was Coke Zero, but Pepsi Max is still acceptable. If you think I'm sounding a little bit weird today, if I sound not my normal self, it's because I'm still very, very tired after the 24-hour stream that we did at the weekend. I'm recording this video about an hour before it's supposed to come out, so hopefully it got edited together and uploaded in time, but I'm still suffering a little bit of sleep deprivation, I think. But I am celebrating because we now have raised over £4,000 for the National Autistic Society. When you take into account gift aid in the UK, which it does, those people who've ticked the gift aid box, it all counts. And we're 2-0 up, and we've raised £4,000 for charity just for playing Football Manager over the weekend. So that's all good. So, you know, cut me a little bit of slack on not being able to talk properly today. If you want to hear me talk, great. There's 24 hours of it from over the weekend. It's all saved on the channel as videos on demand. And just thank you to everyone who supported that over the weekend. It was massive, and we've achieved something really, really cool with it as a Football Manager community, as a Lollujo community. All you guys who watch my videos every day have proven that we're not just a bunch of nerds who like the spreadsheet game. We also, when we get together as a group and we're all focused on one goal, can achieve something absolutely brilliant. And Danny Mills is celebrating that fact with a third goal before half-time. Where are Oxford City in the league? Because all of a sudden, what a difference having Mills and Robles both fit make. Because now all of a sudden, we look like world beaters again. We really do rely so heavily on this strike partnership that we've got, to the point where we don't really have a backup striker for when either of them are not fit. But when they're both on form and when they're both fit like they are today, we will rip through any team in this division. But that hasn't happened often enough recently for us to be challenging for promotion, because as it stands, even with this dominant 3-0 that we're on at half-time, we're still, 2 places outside of the playoffs. Only 1 point behind Hemel Hempstead, who are occupying 7th place at the moment, but our goal difference isn't as good as theirs. Hint, hint, Mills and Robles go and grab a couple more in this second half. Minahan floats over a free kick. That's a good header. What happened there? Have we won a penalty? An inexplicable penalty. I don't know what the penalty has been given for. Presumably handball or something in there. But Mills steps up to try and complete his hat-trick. I am going to have to fetch the helmet if he does this. I need to go and get it ready because it's a penalty. Hold on. Helmets in the air, everybody. This is the new Danny Mills celebration. Helmets in the air. Oh, I can't do... My chair's stuck. I'm spitting everywhere. Oh, helmets. Helmets in the air. Helmets on for Danny Mills. If you've got a helmet to hand, I want you to tweet your pictures of me in a helmet. What am I asking? Tweet me a picture of you wearing a helmet for Danny Mills. If you can find him on Twitter, tweet at him as well. I'm Lollujo. I don't know what he is. I don't even know that he's on Twitter. But if he is, tweet him, tweet me, with a picture of you wearing your helmet, celebrating his hat-trick that got us back on the promotion track again. Let's get SC1D on the pitch again. He wants to be on the pitch as part of a dominant performance. That's going to do his development a world of good. And then why not rest Jack Compton as well? Bring Henchcliffe on to play on that left wing. And I'm wearing a cycle helmet and people are watching. I'm out of breath now from running around the room like that. Too old, too unfit. Shouldn't be doing it. YouTube's a young man's game. What is happening here? Right. Where's SC1D? We want to be watching his development and making sure that we want him to at least get his little 20 minutes every game. So I think, if you play 20 minutes of a game, it counts as a game towards your overall development, which is what we need. We want him to be good enough to be properly challenging for a first team spot next season. We don't want to... Anna's walked in and I'm wearing a cycle helmet. I don't know how I'm going to explain this to her. She's standing in the doorway the way she does, trying not to interrupt the video. The door between me and her is closed, but I can see she's come into the utility room. Hopefully she just stays there until I'm done talking, and then as I finish talking I can take the cycle helmet off and she doesn't know it's on my head, because otherwise I'm going to have some serious... I might not be allowed to come out and make videos anymore. It's now 4-1, 9 minutes to go, and hold on, I need to pause because she's just hovering and I don't want to get shouted at. Don't think she saw the helmet. I think we're okay. Right. Oh, I forgot they scored. That spoils my fun a little bit. Microphone's moved now. This is, despite the fact we're winning, this is not my day. It's all going a little bit wrong. But we are... Oh, Chippenham just jumped back up above us again. I thought we'd leapfrogged Chippenham to find ourselves one place outside of the playoffs again. We have got a chance for a 5th goal, though. And it's SC1D! Goodness me! Only his 2nd appearance off the bench. He's just come through our youth system. I'll tell you what, everything else might be going to pot, but we've done an advert and a half for my Patreon today. SC1D, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. There you go, you've been awarded with 2 appearances as a 16-year-old or 15-year-old, whatever you are, and your 1st goal. So there you go. If anyone else wants to get involved in the Patreon, it's patreon.com/Lollujo. You too might become an absolute overnight hero. We're going to grab a 6th here. Danny Mills waltzing past people as a 6'5" monster. He was tripped over there. I hope he didn't bang his head on the way down. He's not allowed to wear his cycle helmet on the pitch. Oh, there you go. Cleared by our rock at the back, SC1D. Sorted. So that leaves us with, I think, is it 6 games to go of the normal season? I need to consult the league table. So what, there's 44 games in total. 8 games left. I mean, we should still be on course for the playoffs. I think we've won 3 of our last 4 games at this point. So we are starting to come into some form again. And hopefully we can carry that form through. It says on there 6 games. So perhaps so there's only 42 games. There's 6 games left. You'll be here for the last 2 of them. And then hopefully a set of playoffs after that. If you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for brand new Football Manager content at 4 PM and 9 PM every day. And 10 PM in December, 10 AM in December. Thank you very much for watching.